from electoral politics to Occupy, back to electoral politics, and I was at Occupy for 4 months. And you know, a lot of the frustrations that I felt at Occupy was just an inability to get behind anyone that isn't yourself. You know, there was a lot of talk about horizontalism, and that's all great, but not everybody has the skills to do voter targeting. Not everybody has messaging skills. You know, not everybody will do things, and none of them will go canvassing. So, not none of them, but a very, 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 very small percentage would actually be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take these flyers and I'm going to go knock on doors and I'm going to track the data and I'm going to do whatever. Or ever stay on message. But I've worked on three different... I've worked on 3 different congressional races this year, all of which were endorsed by the P-Trip, and they're a wonderful organization. But, you know, the 2 that I first worked with, it was Ilya Shaman in the Illinois 10th, and then Eric Griego in New Mexico 1st. Both of them affiliated themselves with Occupy. Be it, you know, Griego actually went and spoke at Occupy Santa Fe events, and he's terrific, and he was the first congressional candidate ever to run a television ad that said "Jail the Bankers." And Emily's List came in and spent $500,000 in the last month against for our opponent against us. And earlier that year with Shaman, it was APEC that came in and supported our primary opponent. And they did a smear campaign out-Jewing us, when even though it was my candidate was Ilya Shaman, a Jewish refugee from Moscow. So I would say, my question to you is, and get your guys' take, how actively is the Democratic Party working against you, and is that a big concern? And do you feel like you're prepared to take on the Democratic Party of organizations that has money in its name, for example?
I think that's amazing, but I actually want to get your question answered too, and I think Wendy's a great person to do it, but I don't care whoever.
Well, I mean, they're on set, so
yeah.
let's get Justin's question addressed, because it's a serious and viable question for somebody who doesn't actually know the district and the fight. It's spot on.
Yeah.
It's a fight that's happening all across the country, and that's something that you've experienced and you've all experienced. So